Yeah, so moving next. It is also start mark question. Pictured here is Christian, who was a professor at an institute in Europe in the 19th and the 20th century. In his time, he was responsible for a certain decision he took because a number of heads presented were less according to him, whose life-changing decision is being talked about here. In the italics gives a very good hint, and the timeline and the place.
So just one thing. Is this guy named Christian or that his religious orientation?
No,
That's
no.
his first name. That's his first name. Christian is his first name.
Now moving further. 3 years back, a Canadian gentleman came to Miami for work. During his stay in the city, the person gave away close to $1 million. His acts of benevolence included helping people get free supplies from supermarkets, gifting cars and cash to families, contributing to the local fire department, among others. The story which gained the most traction was about him giving tuition money to a student to the student who studied at the University of Miami, who went on to complete her undergrad and master's and receive another shout out from the aforementioned person, Put Funda. So can we start with the rerun, Ankit?
Yeah, suppose we can have a rerun and
Just keep it slower, I guess.
yeah, someone requested to keep it short. We'll go slow for the rerun.
Question 1 से start करते हैं or do you want to go backwards?
I suppose one से better है.
Yeah.
Just let me know when I have to change the slide.
Okay. Basically, in this question, you have to identify the logo of this band and what was the inspiration behind it. In this question, you are supposed to identify this artwork, which looks.
You can go slightly slow on the reader. शुरू में भी trust a little.
You have to identify the movie.
Just one thing, could you please just go back to the second question for 2 seconds?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
I think we can move on to the next question.
Excuse
So
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, in third question, please tell me. You have to tell the movie's name in which the actor was starred or he's going to be starred in the movie.
The movie in which he starred, like
Previously. No?
the previous movie. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Any hints on this question?
Blocking, please.
The question itself has many hints. You just need to know. You have to identify what piece of literature this is.
Could you go back to 5 for a second?
Can you go back to the question for a second?
One clarification in the last question, in question 5. The last line, the route that is mentioned, it refers to the same federal law that was named after the child. The last line that is the whole last line of the question.
Not the law, the work. It says the great detail in the work. So the root refers to the work. The law was one of the subplots in the work.
Okay, so the route is unconnected to the law, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You have to identify the album in this one. I think we can move on to the next question. We would need two parts in this: the product as well as the material used to make that product. Moving on to the next question. You have to give two parts. One would be the film and the literary work it has mirrored. You may want to focus on italicized words. We would need two literature works in this. One would be the original and one would be the one which is based on the other.
For the last question, for question 8, is the director and collaborator duo famous individually or famous for working together? When you say duo, do you mean they work together for a long time or just in this instance?
Yeah, they have worked together on more than one occasion.
Okay.
We would need two answers in this. First would be the work, literary work, and who did the illustrations for that work.
Can you
For
go
the
back to
translation.
question 9? Okay, thanks.
We should move on to the next.
So very popular song. Words like I, you, me, how, why, cow provides pretty much good hint. Yeah, next. So convenience, organized in boxes in a peculiar manner, which is widely regarded concept in nowadays. Name this concept. We can move further. I guess it's easy. Yeah, so released in September 2001, amazing survival story. Author's image sung because of accused of choosing the plot line from another novella, which was based on a Jewish boy adrift in Nazi Germany. We need the author, name of the author. Yeah, so symbol of the blue globe, lines on the left that seem to be similar to very infamous object from popular culture, mocked for by the competitors by calling its empire-like reputation in a press release. What nickname was given to it? Yeah, so movie which portrayed the plight of soldiers in war zone, labeled as pro-torture propaganda for depicting enhanced interrogation techniques. We need the director of the movie and her husband, who recently restaked his claim as a pioneer for the highest grossing action-packed epics. So owing to financial troubles, took up a screenwriting job in mid 1930s. Was The movie was tried to be
Just can
banned
you go
by
back to the question once? Sorry.
the previous one.
Yeah, just for a second or two.
We need the writer and the international issue in the question. Yeah, so multidisciplinary artist chosen among 6 other artists to redesign a very famous figurine. Purpose was to represent what this figurine meant to each of the artists. So style focuses on evoking emotion through color, patterns, and storytelling. Where have we seen this artwork most redesigning, and what redesigning what? So baffling air piracy crime, 1970s, recently in this spotlight for its mischievous reference in this month only. So what is the incident and what reference am I talking about?
Question 17
Question
is a
17,
one pointer.
one part.
You just need to tell what was the asked for redesign. That's pretty much all.
So look at the timeline in Europe, 19th, 20th century. Italicized both the number of heads presentable less according to whom, whose life-changing decision is being talked about here. Like, please start writing your answers because we will be giving less time towards the end because it's next is the last question only. So 3 years back, Canadian gentleman came to Miami, gave many people, philanthropists became supermarkets, gifting cars and cash to families. What gained the most traction was giving funding the tuition money of a girl who studied at the University of Miami, who went to complete her undergrad and masters and put funda for this.
Excuse me, could you go back to the ex-husband, the director and the ex-husband question? Which question number was it?
Ex-husband director.
Yeah, Abhi, can
It's
you go back?
15, question number.
Yes,
Question
please.
15, Abhi.
That was question number 15.
Yes.
All right.
I'll just check.
Could you guys also go back to question 5 once, just like for 1 second?
You can start submitting the forms though. Like we'll give you another minute or so to submit it.
Is there any other question which you want to see once again? Because we'll close the form in another minute.
Yeah.
Can we go to
What
the
did you have to
19th
answer in
question?
17?
17th and 19th. Okay. This is the 17th question. The 19th question. Okay, I think we have given enough time. So I'll stop sharing my screen and please start submitting your responses. We have 43 responses till now. Is there anyone who is still left to submit the form?
All right, so we're closing in 10 seconds.
If anyone's left to submit, please speak up or we'll close in the next 5 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're closing the form now. It's not accepting responses. All right, so thank you. I hope no one was left. I suppose we can go to the answers now. The form is no longer accepting responses, so it's fine.
Just a second, I'll start.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, we can see.
Visible.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead, people.
This is the Rolling Stones tongue logo, and the inspiration is Kali.
Is correct. Can you show the answer slide? Yeah, so the Rolling Stone tongue logo inspired by Goddess Kali.
This is the Scream.
The Scream is correct. The bulb.
This is Gunda and Ibu
Gunda
Atela.
and Ibu
Aega
Atela.
Kela.
That is correct. Now in the Eternals. Alright. What about this?
Montrose. 9 Marilyn and Andy Warhol.
Bullets
Not
and
not
9 Jackies and Warhol.
that is correct. So 9 Jackie and Warhol. So the subject being Kennedy.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Is
Murder on
correct.
the Orient Express.
Hail to the thief.
Hail to the Thief.
Hail to the Thief. One on Hail to the Chief by Radiohead. Yeah,
It's X-rays and records, like vinyl record.
is correct. So product being records and made using X-ray films. Any guesses?
Dark Knight Rises and Tale of Two Cities
Is the right answer. Both of them being correct.
Twilight and 50
Twilight
Shades
and
of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey.
Very well done.
The Raven and
The
Gustav
Raven
Doré.
and Monet.
The Raven is correct for the art.
Manet.
Is Manet is correct. Edward Manet.
Why this collaboration?
Why this collaborating?
Will give you full point.
uppercase and
Uppercase, lowercase.
Letters.
Very well done.
Jan
Life
Martel.
of Pi. Jan
Martel and Life of Pi.
Yeah, Jan Martel is the author.
Death Star and AT&T logo.
AT&T Globe logo.
Is this a Death Star?
The Death Star. Yes. The AT&T का logo जो था.
Hero Dog 30, Catherine Bigelow, James Cameron.
Bingo. That is
Hero
correct.
Dark 30, Catherine Bigelow and James Cameron.
All three of them correct.
Doesn't Hurt Locker
Munshi
also
Premchand
fit the
and
definition?
Great Depression.
Is Munshi Premchand and the Great Depression is correct for this one. Was there a question for the previous question, the 0 Dark 31?
Yeah, I asked that doesn't Hurt Locker also fit the definition in the previous question?
I mean, does it follow an enhanced interrogation technique and torture?
There's no torture in the Hurt Locker.
There's no torture there. It's mostly psychological setup. So, it's redesigning what?
Statue of Liberty.
Not that. MELA quiz.
Oscar.
The Oscar trophy. The Oscar statue.
DB Cooper reference to Loki.
Cooper and Loki.
Will give you 1 point.
Two-parter था. No,
Hitler being rejected from art
Hitler
school.
be rejected art school?
Yes, rejected on having too few heads in his submission.
Drake's God Plan.
God's plan.
Will give you full points. This is God's plan by Drake. Alright, so that was the prelims. Thank you so much for turning up. Okay, this was a reject. Do you want to try this?
This is Wasteland Baby, right?
Wasteland.
Never
Baby.
mind.
No, not now. This is Wasteland Baby by
नहीं,
Cozy.
वो है, रुक जाओ.
Guess the caption if you can.
Yes, now, what was the caption?
Wasteland Bernie?
Nice.
Good one. Good
I
one.
This
would agree.
Titanic by Wayne's Flood.
So, like, think of
Wasteland
one-
maybe is correct, yeah.
Who is it?
oh. Did we show the answer
Yeah.
for this?
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, sure.
चलो अब दिखाई दो.
Yeah, it's fine. That is a reject for this. Right. Thank you so much.
For the DB Cooper one, if we explain DB Cooper without giving the names, that's what he did.
Oh,
The
I
unidentified.
can't give points for that. We've already given, like, today's explanation was in the question itself. That was implied. Kind of needed DB Cooper. Can't give point for just DB Cooper. You'll get half a Loki though. All right. Thank you so much. Give us some time. We're checking the responses now, and we'll announce the results shortly. Thank you. Okay, so I'm ending this meeting. Yeah.